welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be talking about memory. I find memory so fascinating. I think the big reason why is because I had a stroke before I was born, if you didn't know, and I just can't believe how my brain has recovered, has adapted, have found pathways, and just like how my memory works. It's just like so fascinating to me. So I will begin with saying my memory, people have said this as well, it's just not me. My memory is pretty amazing. Let's first start off with my short-term memory versus my long-term memory. So my short-term memory, I would definitely say it is not as good as my long-term memory, and I have had like a test done like throughout school when I was in high school, and just like all throughout school, that I feel like indicated that as well, that it takes you a little bit of time for like the information to get into my brain and just like absorb the information. It did depend, because if we were doing math, that was a little different, because one thing that is definitely clear is my memory in terms of numbers is insane. And in math in general, like the one thing that honestly freaked me out back in high school was when I was first learning trigonometry. Back when I was in pre-calc, that was when I first learned it, and one of the things you learn is the unit circle, and that honestly freaked me out because I memorized the unit circle. Like, it was the easiest thing for me. Like, I had no trouble. Like, I pretty much looked at it and had it memorized. I did watch one YouTube video. Actually, what happened? I'll share this story. I was in my junior year of high school. So, long story short, that year was a hard time for me. So when my teacher was like,
oh, if you're taking AP Calc next year, it's probably be a good idea to memorize the unit circle.
And me, just because I was going through like a lot at that time, I was like,
I don't know. Really? Maybe I will.
But at that point, I was like, I don't know, is it really that hard to memorize? Is it hard? I don't know. I didn't know at that point. But yeah, that's when I found this YouTube video, and it was like an easy way to memorize the unit circle. And before I click on it, I was like, I can't believe it. But then after watching that video, I literally had it memorized, and honestly, it kind of freaked me out, especially, you know what, it actually was so funny, because when I started taking AP Calc in my senior year, my teacher was like she gave everyone the unit circle to fill out, and of course I fill it out in like 2 seconds. But then she like said a comment that like kind of threw me off guard, because it just like didn't make any sense. But she was like, yeah, I don't ever memorize the unit circle, it's too hard. And I was like, is it? I don't know. I still find that weird, because I'm just like, you're a math teacher. Like, I don't think memorizing the unit circle, if you're a math teacher, should be hard, but whatever. That's not the point. But I guess like, to me, like, memorizing the unit circle had no problem. It was so easy for me. And yeah, and honestly, memorizing pi, the number pi, is pointless, but I find that so fascinating. And I memorized a good amount of gigs, and it was easy. My brain works in numbers, and I just find it so fascinating to me, and just like my memory in terms of numbers, and just like in math in general. Anyway, I could talk about this forever, but you know what, I think I should just mention my special talent that I'm able to do, that I guess I didn't realize it was a special talent for a long time, but now I realize, no, like, no one, like, most people can't do this. But honestly, if you can, let me know. But I can remember, oh, it's not like I can, it's like I will remember everyone's birthday. So if you tell me your birthday, I will remember it forever. And it's not something like I do for fun. I think people literally, like, some people in my life literally think it's something like I enjoy doing, that is like a hobby for me, but like, no, it's not. It's literally something I can't control. I don't know how to explain it. And actually, one way I saw it when I was like Googling it, because it kind of like freaked me out. It's like, what is going on? One thing I saw was like, it's not so much that you're able to remember everyone's birthday, it's the fact that you literally can't forget it. And that is so true. I literally can't forget people's birthdays. And honestly, it's not always a good thing, because there's people's birthdays, I'm gonna say there's some people's birthdays I know that like I wish I could forget. But yeah, my special talent, I guess, my superpower, that is what I can do. I can remember everyone's birthdays. And I honestly don't have a choice. I don't. That's why I'm just like, I'm almost afraid to know people's birthdays, because I'm just like, if you hurt me, that would be bad, because then like I won't be able to forget your birthday. But you know, what can I do? I can't change it. But actually, another thing I want to talk about that kind of stems from the idea of how I'm able to remember everyone's birthdays, and I truly believe it has something to do with my injury to my brain and having a stroke. Like, I honestly think I wouldn't be able to do this if I never had a stroke. Like, I think just the way my brain recovered and the pathways it formed, just like everything, like I don't know. I'm not like that, like I don't know anything really about the brain, like let's be honest, but just like the little bit I know, and a little bit like I know that the brain can recover from a stroke, like I just believe that's the reason I'm able to do it. Like I don't know. My long-term memory is, I would say, so I know this a term, I'll put it on the screen, but basically like people, it's rare, but some people can remember like literally everything that has ever happened to them, like every event, like everything, like I think even like every conversation, like it's insane. Honestly, that is so fascinating. That is not me. Like that is not me, but I will say I have a better like long-term memory than like the average person, at least like the people in my life. Like there are things that I can remember in the past that sometimes like I swear like I freak out my family or whatever, and my mom or like someone will be like, OMG, like how can you remember that? Like, oh, that's right. Like I would have never remembered that, and it honestly pretty cool. And it's like I like to say my memory is a blessing and a curse, because like it's amazing that I can remember all of these things, but it's also a curse because I remember, you know, some bad things and I can never forget them, and it sinks. And yeah, and also there's times where like when someone doesn't want to remember something is true, they will just be like, oh yeah, that didn't happen. I'm just like, that can be so frustrating. Like they will know I have amazing memory, but as soon as they don't want to remember something is true, even though I'm just like, this is 100 billion% what happened, is so frustrating. And that is the times where I'm just like, I wish I didn't have the memory I have, or I wish there was a time machine so I could bring you back to this moment and like I could prove you that yes, it is right. Like what I'm saying is right. Like it's not even about me being right. It's just about me like knowing this 1 billion% happening, and I have no way to prove it. But yeah, so there's some negatives about having amazing memory and long-term memory, but there's also, you know, benefits. And I don't know, I have my moments. But in terms of school was interesting, but I realized one thing that definitely helped was like when I wrote something out, like sometimes all I needed to do was to like rewrite my notes like one time and I will have it memorized. Or especially math. There was times in college where I would just like skim through my notes and that was all I needed. Like I put like no effort and I got like an A. And I know that's not normal. But yeah, my memory in terms of numbers and just like math is definitely better than I would say. Like, I think a lot of it also has to do with the fact, like, for example, history. I'm not interested in history, so like I find that somewhat boring. Like, I don't find it interesting, so it's harder for me to like actually like memorize it and want it to like get into my brain. But one thing I have realized is if I'm interested in it, then it's not that hard for me to like memorize it. So yeah, that is like a little bit of school. And also like having epilepsy, I really want to talk about that, because when I was diagnosed with epilepsy, one of the things that actually scared me a little bit was hearing people talk about like their memory and how, you know, their memory really was impacted, especially like taking medication and just like everything. And I was kind of scared. I was like, oh, will like this impact my memory? But I have to say, and I feel like, you know, I'm lucky that as of now I haven't noticed the impact of having, you know, epilepsy, taking medication, and it's impacting my memory. Like, my memory has been the same. I mean, honestly, if I think about it, I don't know. Epilepsy is kind of confusing, like having seizures, because I realized like I have always had like these very, 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 very mild seizures sometimes. So I wonder if that maybe impacts like my short-term memory. I don't know, because sometimes when I have these like, I guess like these moments of like, okay, something is not right, like that does make me kind of lose focus on what I'm doing. So I don't know, that could be a reason in terms of like my short-term memory. I don't know. But in terms of like epilepsy, like when I had my first like known seizure, I remember everything. Of course, the times when like I went unconscious and I believe I had a seizure, like I didn't remember like being unconscious. But like before and after, I had like a pretty good like memory of that. But yeah, in terms of just like having epilepsy, I don't feel like it has impacted my memory much at all, if like anything. So I'm grateful for that. And a lot of it probably has to do with the fact that like my seizures are very mild. Even like the most severe seizure I've ever had, like doctors sure say it is mild. So yeah, I'm grateful for that. But one thing I want to talk about, and this is something I first learned back in, what's it called, Liz? I was like watching a YouTube video, and then this YouTuber brought this up, and it freaked me out so much that like I spent like hours researching this. But it is savant syndrome, and if you do not know what that is, you should definitely look it up. But basically, it's known for people who have autism. So, but it's not like everyone who has this has autism. Like, it sounds like sometimes like from a brain injury, and it's when you're like especially challenging in one area, but you may like struggle in other areas, but like you're super good, whether it be art or math. me I'm amazing at math, memory, like things like that, music. And when I first heard that, I was like, OMG. It freaked me out, because I'm like, is this me? But no. I swear, if I did have it, like doctors would have told me a long time ago. But I will say, remembering birthdays is definitely a characteristic, can I say that word, of a savant. Like, that is something a savant would be able to do. Or like even remembering what is it called, like being able to say, okay, September 5th of 1987 was a Tuesday or whatever, I don't know. They would be able to do that type of stuff as well, and be able to do fast calculations in their head. Now, I'm not able to do that, so like I'm definitely not a savant, like I don't have it. I think I'm always gonna be fascinated about how my brain is able to, like how I am able to remember everyone's birthdays. It's just like always gonna fascinate me, and just like not knowing, or like just having that question of, am I able to do this because of having a brain injury? Like, is that the reason, or would I have had this talent, I guess? Either way, or because like it's so fascinating to me to not know that, but to know that like it's not normal. Like, not everyone can do this, and actually most can't. I hope you enjoy it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, turn on the post notifications, follow me on all my social media. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye.